I don't know if I should be proud of that or not, but I am very proud. First, honestly, to me, the movement, I thank God for the movement. The movement is it's moving right now. I can just feel the momentum of this team. Even though we had a bad first half, I just feel like God has a plan for this team, for the things that we've gone through and what we've faltered to be able to come out of this with a 19-point win. I never gave up. When Q hit the shot before the half, I was like, that's all we needed. We needed a shot in the arm. I knew we had to get that lead to at least 10 before the first time out if we were going to have a solid chance because they were in a rhythm, and it happened better than I thought it would. And when we got into a rhythm, and never looked back.
Hey, Penny, normally when a team comes from such a big deficit, they run out of gas. How come this team didn't run out of gas? It seemed like they actually picked up gas going on to finish the game.
Yeah, we finally hit the stride. You know, we got into an unbelievable rhythm defensively and offensively and gained more energy. We saw them getting tired, and we went higher.
Coach, great win today. I'm right here in front of you, Coach.
Oh, I'm tripping. Okay. Lights sometimes.
I understand. Speaking of lights, you was the big man on campus today with this second half speech. Tell us about it.
Man, you know, at halftime, we went in there, and like I said, our video guy gives us the video of the first half, and it was just like the game at UAB. Like, how did we get here? We came into the game saying that we were going to do these things. I made an adjustment on the zone, putting David Jones in the middle, added a baseline runner, and then defensively, man, we just said we're going to man up, no switching, just guard your yard, and we just started getting steals. But my speech was, we didn't come this far to lose this game. We fought ourselves back into a situation that we can't falter now. We can't give it away at home. And the guys rallied around that, and we won.
At the end of the game, you said a message to the fans. What made you say that today?
Because we owed them everything. This is the city's team, no matter what. I mean, we're not like every other school around the country that relies on their student section, kind of. We rely on the city, and our student section has been great and phenomenal. But this is the city's team, so I have to thank them because they were huge in that comeback. It got really loud in there, and that's the sixth man, you know, that helped us out. So I had to thank them.
Penny, I think at the half y'all had 6 turnovers and I believe just 1 assist, and finished the game with 8 turnovers and 15 assists. Took care of the basketball in the second half. Can you talk about that and how that led to the run or helped the run?
Yeah, it made it easier when we switched up what we were doing zone. They kept going from 1-3-1 to 2-3, and even though we were prepared, we got kind of stagnant because it got into a one-on-one game. You can't go one-on-one in the zone. So we shored some things up at halftime that made it easier for us to go where we needed to go and get the shots that we needed to get, and that's what you saw in the second half.
I just want to go back to how quickly this turned. I mean, it was 61-39 with like a minute and a half left in the first half, and you had the lead with like 16-20 left in the second half. And by the end of it, I think you scored 20 straight points, and it was a 46-9 run.
Wow.
Like, have you ever been? I can't imagine you've been through something like that, and like, you knew they were going to do it, but like that quickly. What was going through your head?
Maybe in the NBA I have, because I played on the NBA. You can do that very easily because you see it all the time. Team will be down 20-25 and end up winning the game by 10 or 12. So I never gave in, but how fast it happened did shock me. I wanted it to happen that fast, but it was like, I don't know. It was really weird to just sit there and witness that. It was. And I've been a part of those type of games, but it was unbelievable watching these young men fight so hard and scrap and then everything go our way for those minutes.
Naquan Tomlin followed a career game with another career game. The only negative is he has a history of getting 4 fouls. So how do you train him to play on that level without committing those fouls?
Man, I can honestly say for Naquan, he gets a tough whistle, man, because he's small and he's trying to fight. He's just scrapping, but at the end of the day, I'd rather him be aggressive. Smarter, because we don't need him in foul trouble, because we're down Malcolm. We're down at our center, so he has to play against bigger, stronger guys all the time. So has to be smarter and make it a foot fight instead of an arm fight. But, man, I just want him to stay aggressive. If there's 4 fouls, staying in the game and not fouling out, I'm okay with that. Because he only had 2 fouls at halftime.
Does a win like this, a game like this, does it show you that anything is possible?
It does. This kind of is very, very, very similar to the second half at Wichita State. That's the greatness that this team has. And then the first half is who we can be as well. But the second half is the greatness that we can be. And yeah, you see the glimpses, and these guys are very confident in riding a wave right now. For us to be down to a very good UAB team, by 22 points and then come back and win the game by 19, it says a lot.
Obviously, the focus here, right here, the focus is the big run you guys made in the second half. But I want to go back to the 7-0 run that JQ had to end the first half, which of course ended with him making the half-court heave there that cut the deficit to 15 after you guys were down by 22. I'm not completely sure you guys are able to make that comeback if not for that.
Yeah, I felt us reeling a little bit early, and JQ was the only one that had rhythm. And I went to him and was like, you have to carry us until everybody else comes along. And he did it long enough to get Naquan and David going. And when they all got going, it was a beautiful thing. So I did go to him and tell him after maybe the first or second time out, maybe the second time out, hey, you got to carry us until everybody else comes along.
And it just feels like as recently as like a week or two ago, this would have been a game that you would have let get away from you, but that didn't happen here. What's changed so much since then in such a short amount of time?
I think the energy is so good with this group. Everybody's locked in on one goal. Everybody's kind of rowing the boat in the same direction. No negativity, nothing negative in the huddles. Everybody's fighting for one another the entire time out there on the court, and that's why we've been so successful these last 4 games.
I was going to ask the same thing, but just these last, 4 games with the way you guys have played, the level you've played at, I know it's a small sample size, but how much of everything y'all had set out to accomplish at the start of the season do you think is, again, possible, within reach?
No, it's within reach. I do also understand that because they don't respect our conference, that Rice and South Florida, which South Florida's playing beautiful basketball. Kudos to Coach Abdur-Rahim because he's done a phenomenal job. But they're costing us for that loss and the Rice loss. And then we have a better resume than all these teams that are in next 4 out, first 4 out, all of this. I don't understand why our name isn't up there. Honestly, we've won enough big games for us to be back in the conversation. It doesn't matter. There isn't a bad loss in our mind. You just lose a game. But we have great wins. So, to me, I'm not trying to plead my case because it doesn't matter. But when I look at that, there's not any of those teams that's in that has a better resume than us.
Penny, you didn't have a senior day as a player. What was it like standing up there with Jaden this afternoon?
It was actually pretty cool because I know he's fought so hard to be able to play Division I basketball. And obviously with me being the coach, it's pretty sweet. But to stand up there with him today on senior day was pretty cool. I've already watched him graduate 2 times, so that's been the most proudest moment to me. But today was a great day.
Wanted to get your thoughts on the whole scuffle with UAB early in the second half where Coach Kennedy ends up getting ejected there. What did you make of that whole sequence?
I mean, it gets frustrating as a coach because you have so much weight on you. And Coach Kennedy, a former player, great coach, started to lose the lead, thought it was some unfair calls, obviously from the officials, and just lost it. It's just so much pressure all the time on us. You just understand what he's going through. I've never gotten to the level to where I've gotten kicked out, but you get so frustrated sometimes. And at that moment, he couldn't hold it. He has already lost a couple games in a row at home that he shouldn't have lost. That in his mind, like we shouldn't have lost those games. Again, Wichita State's playing great basketball, and so is Rice. These teams don't get enough credit. So today, the frustration, he's in control of the game. And then the first 3 minutes after the halftime, you go in and give this speech, and then your team comes out and plays like that. It can go haywire, which it did for him.
How much of a turning point did you think that was?
That was a big turning point because that allowed us to take the lead because David made all 4 free throws, and we had an opportunity to get a 2-point lead.
So, kind of everything, a lot still in front of you, a lot to play for this coming Saturday, I believe it is, down at FAU. Kind of I don't know, how do you handle this week leading up to that, and just where's the headspace at as far as getting done what you need to get
Well,
done?
the beautiful thing is that we've been here before with Houston, because this is the same schedule. If you guys understand, they subbed Houston with FAU with Houston. So we used to playing these big games that you have to win at the end of the season, unfortunately, because we haven't put ourselves in position to be solid enough. So to be able to go to a credible gym with a really good team, great team, well coached, to have an opportunity to get another quad one win, I mean, that's a beautiful thing for us for what we've gone through already this season. So for me, you know, it's being the competitor that I am, it puts us in position to write our own ticket with that in front of us. So the week is going to consist of Monday and Wednesday off because we have to give them a couple days. We just played them last week, so we're very familiar. And then the other days are going to be nothing but work because that team is played them in the NCAA tournament. They're impressive coming into our building, controlling the game early, going up 10. And then we had to fight back to get into that game. But I saw exactly what they did. Very masterful plan. We just made some shots and got out of here with a win. But I look forward to the week and then getting down to Boca.